Mr. Bergman, for visiting Pakistan. It was a pleasure seeing you over there, especially at the embassy. And then thanks to Imran Bhai for hosting us over there. It was such a great honor to have you over there. You asked one thing earlier that, how many of us are born in Pakistan. So obviously, majority of them are born in Pakistan here. And I always say that I was born in Pakistan, but I'm raised in United States. Pakistan has given me the identity, but all my success is here. So I can proudly say that both countries are my home countries, and I always feel um, for both countries. So right now, as you have seen the incident of Indians' actions against Pakistan, and I like to bring a little bit of a history, um, which is happening for last almost for 5 decades. But before that, I like to appreciate U.S. that U.S. has was the second country who really recognized Pakistan as a sovereign state after Britishers did that. So start off in 1971, just before the 1971 war. At that time, Indians hijack a plane diverted to Lahore. Later on, it was disclosed that it was the army who actually did that. Fast forward back in 2000 when President Clinton visited India, there were 35 six killed in Kashmir. I know you visited Kartarpur and all that. Uh, it was Indians general actually who eluded after that. It was their internal incident. In 2001, again, same thing happened. In 2003, same thing happened again. In 2007, this was probably the worst tragic incident when 168 people were killed in a train which they were trying to basically undermine the peace process between the two countries. And then in 2019, again, the Indian Army, the paramilitary people, they were killed about, I think there were about 34 people, and now the most incident. Before I really talk about the most recent incident, I like to go back about a month and a half ago when there was a train hijacked in Pakistan, known as Jafar Express, and Pakistan was very vocal about sharing the evidences that it was Indians behind that incident. And I strongly believe, again, this is my personal opinion. I mean, I don't want you to think about that I'm just representing anybody. This is my personal opinion that this such incident that has happened, I think this is basically India is trying to counter back where Pakistan was vocal, providing all the evidence. The Indians are behind it. And as of today, India has not provided one single incident about this specific incident. It's very interesting to point out, Congressman, that when we see the police report filed, they said incident particularly started at 1:50 and ended at 2:20, and the police report was filed at 2:30. How is it possible? I mean, help me understand that. How is it possible that in 10 minutes someone actually traveled from the place of the incident to the police station, which takes about an hour? It seems like it is pre-planned. And in just 10 minutes, they were able to find out and pinpoint that these are Pakistani terrorists. And as of today, Indians have not provided one single evidence. Instead, they are just continuously making some of those allegations and they want to attack Pakistan. I mean, the war, like what you said, war doesn't help anybody. And we're talking about China. Interestingly, I was studying in the morning today. If US has to pull out of China completely, China ranks at number 8, whereas India ranks number 3. Obviously, it is not in the best interest of United States as well to pull out of China. On the other hand, when it comes to the militants about the terrorist attacks in Pakistan, I think Pakistan is paying a very dearly price by being the United States ally. I think it's a time for US to recognize and understand the geopolitical situation over there. That geopolitical situation needs to be corrected by only one way when US stops seeing Pakistan through India's prism. Otherwise, otherwise, if we continue to see Pakistan through India's prism, there is absolutely no way we can truly justify what is happening in Pakistan and all that. I mean, we are trying to pull everything out of China. Everything is going back to India. How do we really stabilize the region over there if Pakistan doesn't get their fair share? So, my question to you is, what can we do? We want to make America great again, but we want to make sure that not only we make America great again, we want to make sure we make the world great again by having peace, by not having any wars. People, they have the right to live, and we should promote the peace in the world. So, thank you.
I'm going to make a very short comment.
Short comment of
I am, because if I haven't studied something in detail, I don't make comments. Okay?
I have written down for you.
No, but I mean, if I haven't thought, and the level of detail that you just gave me, I'm listening and learning. But what I do is I take something in, and if you want me to come back to you at a future time to give you detailed comments, I will, but only after studying the details. But I will say one thing before I start and hand it to Congressman Self, is that this may sound pessimistic. The earth is populated by human beings, which we are all failing and fallible creatures. And some entity, in this case, I believe it is the United States, allied with other like-minded, free countries that have to provide the example worldwide, knowing that the results could be different in different parts of the world at different times in our history. That's, and I'll just stop there. And Keith, over to you.
I'm not sure I can shed any more light than the general did, but I will just say India and Pakistan have had trouble for decades. They are both significant nations, 250 million in Pakistan, 1.4 billion in India, both nuclear powers. Folks, I commanded a nuclear detachment in Special Forces. We carried a suitcase nuke around on our backs, and I stood strategic nuclear watch at UCOM for a whole year, where I knew all of the war plans and I could study them. And my job was to study them and then act as a nuclear command and control headquarters should the Pentagon or NORAD be destroyed. So nuclear war is unthinkable. And I will tell you, when any war starts, you cannot control it. Once you let loose the dogs of war, they go where you don't know. So my only point to all of this is I hope that India and Pakistan can keep their troubles to a low level until they can be solved, because war between Pakistan and India is unthinkable, folks.